Hi, this is Zak Mir with the weekend edition of the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zak's Traders Cafe. It is Sunday, the 5th of January. Starting off with the FTSE 100, and here we're still in that rising trend channel from September 2023. We're just hitting, or have just hit, that December resistance line there, which is around 82.70. Looking for an end-of-day close above that to take us up to the top of the recent range, 8400 on the downside. Hoping that we'll stay within this rising trend channel and stay above 8100. Over the near term. Ideally, we stay even above the 200-day moving average there, just around the 8200 level. Moving on to the DAX, and here it's been a bit of a rocky month or so over the last four weeks at least. We had the Bull Trap Island top there, and since then trying to regroup, doing that reasonably successfully, i.e. bouncing off the old October resistance at 20,000 or 19,500 and above the rising 50-day line as well. While that is the case, we're looking for at least a gap fill for this market towards the 20,200 level over the first part of January. RSI just around that neutral 50 level, but still the door open for another retest of the 50-day line. Moving on to the Dow, and here it's been a rather difficult few weeks since the peak that we had at the beginning of December. Obviously, that was a bit of presidential election enthusiasm. The current situation is that we're nominally in this rising trend channel from back in August. I suppose you could draw the channel a bit more accurately. Maybe that's a better fit. And above the 42,000 zone. And the gap from the beginning of November, looking for this market to at least rally towards 50-day moving average at 43,500. But at the moment, still the chance, the risk rather, of a move down to not only November support 41,600, but even the 200-day moving average, which we haven't touched for months. So maybe it's a little bit overdue on that particular front. Moving on to Bitcoin, which is perhaps for some the all-important market at the moment. Here waiting or looking for and hoping for this market to get back above the 100,000 level. The good news is that at least for the end of the week, we are above the 50-day line, around 97,500. Looking for a break of 100,000, obviously, to take us back to retest the record high at 108,000. Worst case at the moment, probably down to 92 again, which was support on the way up and also was support back in December and for the start of January. Moving on to gold, which has been up against it in the recent past, in the sense that we've had this market trying to hold on to the floor of that rising trend channel from February last year. So far, it's done it, and the only thing now is to try and tackle that 50-day line there around the 2620 area. If we can do that, then we're looking for a retest of November-December resistance towards the 2750 zone. Moving on to the stocks, and here we've got Challenger, which we haven't looked at for a while. Here we've broken recent resistance there quite nicely for the end of the week, around the 7 pence area, and above that looking for 11 pence at the top of that rising trend channel from October 2023. Hopefully we can get to that, maybe even as soon as the end of this month, while we remain above the 200-day line, around 6.5 pence. But the key here is spending as much time as possible above 7 pence. Fusion Antibodies has been one of the heroes of recent weeks, done rather even better than maybe its fans were expecting. We've hit the third target now, and basically above that, looking for a fresh leg to the upside, perhaps even as high as 15 pence, which is a line derived from a mid-2023 resistance line projection. That hopefully could be hit by the end of next month, while we're above recent resistance and the previous target there at 9 pence. So above 9, looking for 15 on Fusion. Green Rock also rehabilitating itself at the moment, which is good to see, given that it's been on the back foot for quite some time. Here we've got a situation, we've got a rising trend channel base, potentially top of that channel, heading for 3 pence, and we're looking for that while we're above recent resistance at 1.7 pence, or at least broken resistance, and the 200-day moving average at 1.7 pence. That's also the floor of the rising trend channel. The other point to note, I suppose, is also the way that we've had 3 bounces above neutral 50 on the RSI scale, so hopefully that is a sign that we're ready to break out quite nicely. Moving on to Jellion, and here You can see that shares just a little bit of a bear trap rebound there from below the May support. That was around 16.25 pence. Above that, looking for the shares to at least head up to 20 pence and the now rising 200-day moving average. So hopefully that'll happen over the next week or two. Every up day for Georgina is a triumph for the bulls these days, and we've had one of those to end the week. Looks as though still we're in a bear trap rebound situation, so bear trap rebound from below the November support there, around 7.9 pence. Above that, looking for 11 pence, hopefully by the end of this month on Georgina. One of the stocks which has been relentless on the upside has been GS Technologies, and here you can see how and why that has been the case. We've broken, the third or fourth target there for the shares. First, second, third, fourth. So the fourth there around 2.8 pence. 2.9 pence, and looking for the shares to hit the upper parallel of that last target there, as high as 4.5 pence by the end of this month. So very impressive move there indeed on GS Technologies. McCango is back as well at the moment, and here we can see that we bounced off our initial target there around the 8 pence zone, and looking for the shares to hit and retest the recent resistance around 10.5 pence. Best case is up to as high as 14 pence by the end of next month, while we're above the 8 pence area. Could be the case that Novosit is back in business as well for the bulls. Hasn't been around for quite a while, but we've broken a line of resistance there from the middle of last year. We also gapped through the 50-day line. That suggests we're in a broadening triangle base, and we could hit up to 69 or 70 pence by the end of this month, especially if both the 50 and 200-day lines both start rising. But that is a decent setup there with the gap through the 50-day moving average. Stock which may be finally ready to move is Panthera. Here we've had a bounce off the rising 50-day line, bounce off previous resistance there around 7.6 pence. Above that, looking for the shares to hit the top of that rising trend channel from the middle of 23 rather, as high as 13 pence by the end of next month, or hopefully a bit sooner than that. Petrotal also looks as though it's rumbling in a good way, and here you can see that we've got the shares ready, if I get the right market on that one, Petrotal. Here you can see that we've got the shares bouncing with a gap off or towards the top of that falling wedge there, around 25 pence. If we can get an end of day close above the 50-day line and that wedge, looking for up to 42 pence by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay on the right side of the floor of the gap there, around the 33 pence area, or 32 pence area, in fact. Moving along to a stock which rose rather sharply on no news, which is TerraCryf. Here you can see that vertical move on Friday, a gap close buy signal there around the 0.6 pence level. And above that, looking for a penny at the top of that broadening triangle base, hopefully over the next week or so. On to Tomco, which I think I covered during the week as well. Here you can see that shares are making some progress. The progress is basically within a triangle as well, and basically bouncing off the old support there on the way down previously, and looking for the shares to get up to 0.11 while they're above 0.06, I think is a fair call there. Finishing off with Victoria, and here break of that falling channel there, and also pushing back above the 50-day line. Quite impressive, that little move there, and looking for at least a minimum there towards the 100 pence level while we're above the 50-day line, especially while we're above 78 pence, the initial December resistance that we have just broken. That's it for me today. More updates during the week.